Hello YouTube viewer! This is the second episode of Reliving Layton, a YouTube series where I'm playing through the Professor Layton games in chronological order and reviewing all the games as I go. Today I'll be talking about Professor Layton, me when I forget his name. Today I'll be talking about Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. Right off the bat, I'm gonna make this clear. In some parts of this review, I'll be grading it by how it holds up to Professor Layton's standards, which may be different in some ways to Ace Attorney. No hard feelings. Okay. Professor Layton vs. Phoenix Wright is a 3DS game released in 2014 about our beloved characters getting teleported into a storybook world where the line between facts and fiction get extremely blurred and witches are being put on trial. Let's start it off with the plot and writing. The writing in this game was overall pretty good. I just had a couple small issues with it. First of all, it's a lot more whimsical than a typical Professor Layton game, and that's saying a lot because Professor Layton sword fights with a vampire in one of the games, so yeah, so take that into account. I just found it hard to suspend my disbelief at times during some of the trials, but that may just be a culture shock of someone who doesn't play much Ace Attorney, or the fact that it literally takes place in a storybook town. Otherwise, the writing was very cute, entertaining, silly, and kept me engaged during the trials. I give the plot and writing 4 stars. It's been a while since I actually played this game, but thinking back, the music didn't leave a huge impression on me. The best part I can remember is that the iconic Ace Attorney soundtrack makes a return in the trial segments, but with new instrumentation, which is very enjoyable and fun. Ace Attorney soundtrack is great. For the parts of the game that were new and original soundtrack, it didn't really catch my attention enough to remember it, I guess. For that, I'll give the music 3 stars. From what I could tell, the puzzles in Professor Layton vs. Phoenix Wright are significantly easier than the puzzles in the main series. This is probably intended for players unfamiliar with Professor Layton, which was probably common when the game was popular. There also weren't very many puzzles. Typically, the average Professor Layton game has over 100 puzzles, but this game only has 70. Including DLC, there's less than 90. So overall, I got a general feeling that the ratio of Phoenix Wright content was unbalanced with the Professor Layton content in the game. There was a lot more trials and Phoenix Wright-centered stuff than, like, puzzles, and I don't know. I could be biased, but I definitely got that vibe, and from the statistics of the puzzles, I think that backs up my claim. There are no traditional minigames in Professor Layton vs. Phoenix Wright, so I'll be moving right along to the overall score. This game is very fun, and I highly enjoyed it. It's a really great, seamless blend of both the gameplay styles of Professor Layton and Ace Attorney. I'd recommend this to either Phoenix Wright or Professor Layton fans, regardless of whether you haven't played one or the other. As someone who hadn't played Ace Attorney at the time I played this game, it didn't feel like I was lacking any knowledge to enjoy the Phoenix Wright heavy sections of the game. The character designs are cool, the story and plot are very whimsical and fun, and it's all around a very fun play. I'd highly recommend it. Thanks for joining me for another Professor Layton review. Next, I'll be reviewing the controversial child, Layton's Mystery Journey. I have a lot to say about the game, so be sure to check it out when it goes up. See ya!